Ahoj páni, tak sme tu, znova si idem pre odsýpaním, skoltáme zvukové stopy, že sedí na začiatok. Ahoj páni, tak sme tu, takže máme tu 632. relaxačný tréningový deň, 12.8.2025 útorok. Takže sú to zhybožrutí 15, 15, 14, 14, 13, 13, 12, 12, 11, 11, predné, zadné, predné, predné, zadné, zadné, predné a predné, zadné. Dať hneď prvú sériu 15, hneď z brusu to rozprúdime. Začíname 15:35, pustíme si tohto piče sa ako podmas.
I made a video yesterday talking about how to fix throwing liberty, and I'm going to be honest, the video has been really positive. I've seen a bunch of comments, probably the most comments I've gotten in one of my recent videos, and it seems like most of you guys have been agreeing with my takes, which is a really cool thing to see, and it seems like a lot of you guys are passionate and want to fix the game. Now, there are some comments that did not agree with me, which is completely fine. You guys said that you agree on some of this, but certain things you don't agree on. And I saw the comments that were very similar on the same topic, and I want to address it in this video to kind of explain my reasoning behind those comments or those changes that you guys would not like to see in the game. And obviously, these are comments that some people already agree with my take on, but there are always some people that don't completely understand what I'm saying or don't completely agree with my perspective. So let's just jump into it and see what these comments were. So the first thing that I want to take a look at is the comment that somebody made about this. To the content creator, what's the point of being a new player to a game that gives you everything at the start? If the game is made to be so easy and even more simply, the likelihood of the new players sticking around and the older players sticking around will go down even more. Now, this comment, I saw several comments regarding this because I said that there should be some catch-up mechanics to the game to help new players get into the game faster. Now, you guys have to remember a few things. This is not like a battle royale game or an arcade game or any type of game like that. It's an MMORPG, which means it has a progression path. You start with nothing and then you earn your way to progression, and then the game will introduce new updates so you can get better gear, right? So it's like a progressive barrier for a player. Now, what I'm saying, I never said that you should get everything. That's not how this MMO works. You have to grind for it. Obviously, you have to work your way through it. But at the end of the day, the only way an MMORPG survives is if it has players. It's the whole MMORPG. You're a multiplayer online game. You play with others. You join guilds. You join communities. All that stuff. And without the players, the game dies. And realistically, the most amount of players are casual players. And the biggest problem MMORPGs have is to get new players into the game. If there's no new players coming into the game will die when people are quitting, right? So the whole point of this is how can you make it easier for casual and new players to play the game? I'm not telling anybody to give them everything. New players should not get everything. Of course, they should grind, but there should be somewhere that there should be a catch-up mechanic to how you obtain certain things. So when I talk about catch-up and people should get rewarded with gear, I'm talking about not giving people runes so they get level 90 runes, but what you could do is help people catch up the runes with a multiplier booster that you earn 4 times or 5 times more runes on your first week or until your runes hit level 50 or 60, and then it slows down to normal pace like everybody else. Same with weapon mastery. Once you hit level 90 or 120 weapon mastery, you will have an EXP booster that gives you way more than normal player. And then when they hit the 120, when you can unlock those 2 levels,
To je kokotina, ty jebo. Ja som to nemal.
will help you get to close to 5k.
Aký je rozdiel? Či teraz...
Entering the normal raid.
Pepeč kokotiny. Tretia séria, 13, 13.
You're probably thinking, but that's a lot. No, it's not a lot. Going for 120 mastery, I'm 172 now, so I know how much levels it requires. Right? Let's use this as an example. The spear, right? Very little required to 95. Once you hit like 150 or whatever, it goes so slow. I think from 180 to 200, it's actually the same as 0 to 180. Somebody can probably check this, but it's like something similar. So the hardest grind actually begins when you hit 150, right? And then so the game will still be very grindy, just that you can come a little bit closer. You're never gonna pass hardcore players that have level 200 in several weapons, but you can come close to actually start playing the game like others. Same with your rune levels. Going from 80 to 90 takes forever. Like I said, I was around rune level 80 on most of my stuff. I finished all of my seasonal dimensional trials, got all of these chests. My runes didn't go up to 90, right? They're still stuck around like 80, 83. So the grind is still a lot. It's just that you catch up a little bit faster so people can do content. Because as a new player, and I saw this in the comment section too, if you're a new player, you try to do dungeon, you try to do trials or whatever, you get kicked out. You try to do it, you get kicked out. People don't want you if you have bad rune levels. People look at your rune levels. When people are recruiting in here, right? When people are recruiting, they check your weapons. Oh, this guy has level 60 rune levels. Okay, this okay. Guy has level 40 rune levels. I'm not inviting this guy. If people are hiding weapon, I'm not inviting him, right? He has bad gear. He doesn't have a good PvE gear. I'm not inviting him. So it's just so new players can actually be invited to stuff so they actually enjoy the game, and that way they can grind their way to max stuff. Just because people get rewarded early on doesn't mean the game that it will be grindy at the end.
Asi jebo,
It's just
no je.
new players to the
Čtvrtá
game.
séria.
Of the suggestion
12, ďalej prejme.
that you should help new players, boost them up a little bit, so if we have people to play with. Because if people don't come into the game and they just quit, which a lot of people said in the comments they did because they got gate kicked, they're gonna quit. So that's the whole point with that. The second big thing that some people did talk about was my comment about raids and the trash mobs. The only thing I disagree with is the trash on the raids. No matter what MMO, there's always been trash mobs leading to the boss. Now, what I said, and I'm going to repeat it again, is that in dungeons, co-op dungeons, and in trials, stuff like that, open world dungeons, snuff trash, the snuff mobs. When you do raid, and I don't know, you guys probably have set teams you do raid with. I don't. I do with pugs, right? When you're doing a raid with pugs, you don't know what your team is. You can spend a lot of time clearing the trash. You get to the boss, and then what happens when you get to the boss is you find out this team cannot complete it. You leave the team. You have to do the whole trash cleaning again, over and over again, and it's really bad for new player experience. And a raid in most RPGs, you fight a raid boss. So you fight a mini boss, and then you fight the raid boss. Dungeons are made for mobs and trash mobs. In this game, there is no point. I've cleared this like every single week. It's been like 1.5 months. The cleaning the mobs is just annoying. It's not a fun experience, and it shouldn't be a thing in the raids in the first place. It takes insane amount of time, and as a pug player that doesn't have people to set team to do it with, it takes insane amount of long time because you constantly have to look for new teams if they can't defeat the boss.
Si sprostý, zárušený chuj. Dobre, takže je to za nami, páni. Ale je to za nami. Zakapitulujeme toho vtáčnika. Dobrý čas máme. 632. relaxačný tréningový deň za nami. 632. bol 12.8.2025. Skončili sme 15.44. Segment trval 9 minút a 20 sekúnd. Solidne rýchlo číslo.